So these are basically, the outlines of TM. It's a very simple outline. I'm not making it very complex when aligning with SAP's standard outline, because I will come to that part. So this is like master data, then we have order management, transportation planning, subcontracting, charge management, and settlement. Okay. SAP's outline is basically, which is the latest one. I'll show you. Give me one moment. TM. So this is standard SAP outline nowadays. Okay, it's the latest one. So you have TM overview and fundamentals. Then you have planning basics and manual planning. Then charge calculation, freight settlement, ERP integration for order management. Then you have freight order management and execution, advanced charge calculation and settlement, subcontracting, LSP based planning and execution, planning and optimizer. Then freight forwarding order management and strategic freight management. Basically, SAP has come up with this kind of course mapping because there are many trainings, and people who basically take trainings, they don't want everything. They want certain specific stuff. For example, earlier it used to be 100 and 110. 100 was basically more, uh, it was a process guide, and 110 was the how you set up the process. So not everybody wants process anymore, so like there are five process, they don't want anything, they just want overview. So for example, I'm a ocean liner industry, I just want basically outline how planning works for me, so I will just take 200. So they can sell these trainings, because 22% of the whole SAP revenue comes from training and education. So that's why they have created these kind of segregation, so they can offer better. Okay. So, but ultimately, if you see, then it's the same content, nothing else. It's the same thing.
Uh, Subhashis, I understand you are going to share me those TM materials, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So what we're gonna
Okay.
do? Thanks for reminding me. After every chapter will done, like for example, we are done with master data. I'm gonna share the exercises with you. Okay.
Okay.
And you have to do that exercise. It's very important,
Sure.
because if you will not do the exercise on time, you will not get to know any doubts, and I will not be able to explain anything to you.
Right, right, yes.
Okay. So apart from these content, do you have any other expectation which I can address? So I will note that down as well as a content.
Mm, not at this point of time. Maybe uh,
Okay. All right.
in case, I don't know if that is in the scope of this training. I mean, if you have any real-time scenarios that you could do me, that would be of great because I may be starting to look out for a project in the TM area. So,
Hmm.
uh, just in case if you have any real-time scenarios,
So what I'm gonna do, basically, after we'll be done with the session, I'm gonna share one very international scenario which DHL kind of companies work, DHL and FedEx. Okay.
great.
Because they have this multi-drop, multi-pickup kind of scenario where they are picking up goods and there are multiple vendors involved. Like there's also an export organization and import organization. Then there's a custom house agent, something like that. So I will share that with you, which will give you a very good overview that how basically TM is perceived in that particular scenario.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, I think today we'll keep it short because we don't have system. Okay. So you are always online on your Gmail, right? So it's much. So I will connect with you better, and I will be able to share meeting requests with you. I think in a very seamless
Yes,
fashion.
yes.
So I think so. Basically, TM is a very new solution, and it has a new architecture. Okay. It's basically it is a BOF archi. It relies on the BOF architecture. So the system is laid out in a very seamless fashion. So you have a team. You have a MVC architecture, which is model view controller. Model is basically your business object where you develop all your business functionalities. Okay. That is at the back end. Before so your database, everything gets stored there only, all your functionalities. Then you have a UI, basically how you develop your screens. So that is quite independent how you have created the backend. That is called your FPM screens, floor plan manager screens. And then you connect both floor plan manager and your backend, and compositely it is called FBI, a floor plan manager BOF integration. And that's what you see on the NetWeaver business client, NWBC. Okay, so it's a latest technology which we at TM realized. Earlier it was the thing got started from the Elytra. So earlier it was called as logistic execution and transportation. So they used to have this shipment execution, but this solution was incomplete because it did not offer any kind of planning, which is essentially required, because you cannot execute something if you don't have a plan. So SAP APO application here, as you can see, you have this planning TPVS. So TM system has been come into picture through this. So TPVS used to plan all the activities around it, and for the execution they started relying on Elytra. So it was a composite solution SAP used to offer, but that was not self-sufficient because customer end up paying for two systems. They don't want install base for two systems. They wanted one system which can perform everything. So which is like 6.0 has come into picture. So it has come into SCM stack. It was the first standalone system which could work by itself. So it used to offer planning. It used to offer uh, all kind of scenarios like inbound and outbound processes of transportation. You can develop the whole charge basically or pricing data in TM. Okay, after that, this thing got, so it was not very successful. The stint was not successful of 6.0 and 7.0. Then SAP changed their strategies. They have remodeled the whole solution and come up with 8.0. Okay, so in 2009 October they released 8.0. It was a comprehensive transportation management solution and offered wide variety of transportation scenarios or operations basically. So you could do a lot of things. You could do domestic transportation, international transportation, inbound and outbound transportation. Even it supported outsourced transportation, which was a very big thing. uh, then after that, the major focus from TM 8.0 was shipper industry, basically the manufacturers, people who have plants, people who are basically good in making goods rather than selling or transporting. Okay, so after that, it was a good solution. Then after that, more features were added to it, and TM 8.1 was released. So the main target for TM 8.1 was uh, logistic industry and ocean liner, basically ocean freight. So after that, TM 9.0 has come in 2011, and 9.0 offered more variety of solution like SOPs, COPs. Then it has offered contract logistics, air freight and ocean freight solution. Okay, and it was a big and it has also given the integration point with other systems. Okay, like CRM, and of course ECC was there. Then 9.1 has come, which provided integration with TM EWM, extended warehouse management, CRM. Also, it offered more stable services than 9.0. After that, 9.2 has come, which has everything: ocean freight, air freight, ocean liner, airliner. Then it supports logistics, contract logistics, retail business, and it supports your basically CRM integration. You can hear me, right? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. So,
Uh, how
yes.
about this event management? Are we going to cover any? integration of event management, or that is not required, Subhashish?
So basically what we're gonna do, event management part, I will capture that what settings we do in TM. Okay.
Okay,
So I
okay,
will capture that part because TM event management is a separate skill, and there is a course for it. It's called SAP Event Management 663.
okay, okay,
Okay. So that's a separate thing because if you talk about event management, it's a standard skill, and that's what SAP offers. And there's a separate product for event management. It's called Auto ID. So
okay.
so you have to learn like event handlers, event status, these kind of things, and it is very big. It has like it's a very big, I think 300 pages book or something like that. So it has a lot of technical stuff. So I will give you the event management overview with reference to TM.
Sure. Okay,
Okay,
that is
because
fine.
event management is a separate skill. It's not that I cannot cover it. I can, of course, but let's keep it to the specifics. And if you, in the end of it, if you feel like you are not able to understand, then we'll do one more session, event management specific. Okay, but that we'll keep it separate.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
Okay, after this solution, one second, then this is the standard architecture on which the new system relies. So you have a kernel 8.0 server. This is integrated with lot of other system. So you rely on 8.0 optimizer basically. Now it is upgraded to 9.0. Optimizer we use because we have to plan certain activities in TM. So for the planning and subcontracting, we rely on optimizer. After that, we have integration with event management. As I said, it's a separate system, so it's a very seamless integration. Now it's 9.0. Then so it's a RFC connection both because these are standard SAP. Then we rely on GTS 11. It is upgraded. We rely on GTS because we have certain requirements like compliance based and custom based requirements. Then we also have integration with PI because we have to do process mapping with ERP. For example, we have settlement to address, or we are doing revenue recognition or profitability transfer. Then we have integration with IGS, which is a service for offered by SAP for map-based planning. We can also do integration with Google Maps or some external OBI maps. For that, we have external GIS service that can be directly integrated with TM, or that can be integrated with IGS and then in can be used in TM 8.0.
what is the full form of IGS, Subhashish?
It's basically I'm not very sure. I think it's
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm not sure actually. I'm sorry.
Similar to GIS, right?
Yeah,
Internal of,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Internal.
very sure. Yes,
Okay.
because yeah, mostly I have not seen any customer so far who has used maps, basically map-based planning. But it is one of the feature because you have to activate certain functions explicitly, and it is one of the offering to conquer, Oracle transportation management.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So, second. Okay, so let's start with the scenarios. Basically, we have certain people. So it's a very basic thing. So we have one party which is a shipper. Shipper is someone who is expert in making goods. Then we have someone who wants to buy goods, that is consignee. There's one person who is a freight forwarder who is managing the whole supply chain. So he's collaborating with everybody. And then we have a carrier who basically does the transportation from shipper to consignee. So basically what happens in actual scenario, freight forwarder on behalf of shipper or consignee, uh, manages the supply chain by having an agreement with carriers. Okay. They also have agreement with the either party as well. So if on behalf of consignee they have agreement with shipper, on behalf of shipper they have agreement with consignee. and they manage the whole transportation by transporting these goods. Okay.
Will it be a valid scenario where a shipper will have their freight forwarder and consignee will have their freight forwarder? Will it happen?
Yes, yes, absolutely, it does happen. Basically, for example, I'll give you a very good example. Like there's one category where, and it happens mostly in big high engineering services. For example, you are good in manufacturing ships itself or some high engineering stuff. So there, what happens? The export operation is handled by the export organization, and export organization of shipper is basically the freight forwarder, and import organization will be your consignee. So it could happen that freight forwarder for export organization will be DHL, and for consignee it will be handled by FedEx or UPS. It is possible. It does happens.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. Okay. It's the shipper scenario. Here everything is derived by shipper only. So shipper basically has a customer already. So shipper hires a freight forwarder to manage the supply chain. Okay. So nothing is derived through the customer. Nothing is managed by the customer. Everything is managed by the shipper only. Even the
okay,
so they manage their carrier, they manage freight forwarder for the smooth delivery, everything. So this is a standard scenario. So there's one shipper at somewhere Kujifu, Japan, and there's a warehouse. Now at that warehouse, basically production happens, and quantities get loaded onto the truck. So we make a lorry or something like that. So that truck picks up the goods from that warehouse and take it to the station of origin. This station of origin basically is a forwarding house. This forwarding house is basically owned by a freight forwarder. Okay, this and from this station, quantities are loaded onto the truck or consolidation happens onto the truck. Big line feeder trailers, 14, 16, trailers basically. Then these units comes to this place called container freight station or freight forwarder gateways. These gateways are those locations where you do custom declaration, you know, custom authority checks, compliance rules. At these places, you will find at the port, basically. Either it could be airport or it could be ocean port. Okay. Now, after this, when it reaches to the port, uh, you have airliner where goods gets loaded in ULDs, unit load device, or it is loaded onto the truck as a containers. Okay. Then main leg happens and it comes to the port of destination. At the port of destination, deconsolidation happens and goods gets unloaded at the container freight station only. Then again custom declaration, authority check, compliance check, and then goods are transported via line feeders to the station of destination. This destination is your forwarding house station from where deliveries will happen. So this is a standard scenario. This scenario can be modified. It could be extrapolated based on number of people involved. So it happens. Okay, but this is the standard cycle which happens.
okay, okay,
This is an FCL scenario where we have a shipper. Shipper loads the truck with the goods, standard goods, and then they don't open the truck at all. Okay, they don't open the container. The truck goes to the port, and from port it loaded onto the ship, and there's no consolidation, deconsolidation process. And after this container get unloaded at destination port, it gets transferred directly to the consignee location.
okay. Because it's a full container. That's why there is no consolidation,
No
deconsolidation.
consolidation. Yeah. In LCL scenario, I just gave you the one explanation. So that is basically your LCL scenario, which is less than container load. Here,
Okay.
consolidation happens at various locations, like freight forwarder gateways, you have port of loading, all those things. So now in this part, basically, there are two major organizations. One is export organization, one is import organization. Okay. Export organization is handled by freight forwarder who are handling orders from behalf of shippers. And import organization is handling delivery based order, on behalf of consignee. Okay. Now these,
Okay.
so here consolidation deconsolidation happens. You also do paperwork, a lot of custom and security filing. You have a lot of containers who transfer through the drayage area. Okay, so this is your LCL cycle. Okay, any doubts so far?
Uh, I'm okay. I'm okay. So please,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Okay, this is the process flow basically. So basically in TM we have a process flow, like we have a sales side and a purchase side. So basically sales side means the order between the customer and your shipper. So ordering party and your final customer, that is represented by forwarding order. So it's like a sales document which gives you the overview of final service or the delivery. Now it is quite linked with forwarding agreement, which is a contract between ordering party and the customer. Okay, this gets used when you are going to calculate charges and when you are going to initiate your forwarding order settlement. Now, out of forwarding order, you derive your freight unit. Freight unit is basically your smallest unit which you can transfer from one location to another. So basically, your freight unit is your smallest unit, and it has a goods information, and uh, these and you plan those freight unit, and you get a freight order. So based on the planning, you derive your freight order. Now, these freight order gives you information of each leg, whether it's pre-carriage, on carriage, or a main carriage. So of course, in that case, you have an execution information. So freight order is basically, it also gives you the information of your purchase organization and the supplier. Okay, from where you are purchasing the transportation services. When you purchase transportation services for a particular leg, you have some subcontract. You might subcontract that to a carrier. Okay, for that you do carrier tendering. Okay,
Okay.
so when you do tendering, of course you are purchasing services, of course you have to do the settlement. For that you use freight agreement. Freight agreement is basically a contract between these two parties, and it is used when you are calculating charges. Okay.
So Kashish, your voice audio has become very low.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's better again. Yeah.
Yeah. So freight order settlement happens after the total execution of process is completed, and goods is transported to the destination location. So the payment is made to the carrier, and for that invoice is sent to ECC. Similarly, forwarding order settlement billing document is sent to ECC, and final billing happens to the customer via ECC only. Okay.
Okay.
Now this is the proper route scenario details. Like first you have a customer service representative who takes a request or order from the customer. He creates
So
freight.
Kashish, sorry again, audio went low.
Yeah, he creates freight unit. He
Okay.
calculates charges and confirm to shipper that your order has been placed. After that, you have a planner who create all the route proposal, who schedule everything, who does the planning for transportation, who arranges transportation, and he does the charge calculation for carrier, like how much carry has to be paid to the carrier. Then you have transportation dispatcher who executes all the planning which has been done by transportation planner. Okay, so it performs event monitoring, pickup, departure, main leg, all those things. And after that, the final part is done by the charge clerk who does the freight order settlement. Okay, for carrier and forwarding order settlement with the final consignee or the shipper. Okay, So any doubts so far in the standard process, in the basic overview?
I think we're okay. I think I'm okay. So,
All right. So, Guru, what we're gonna do? One second, just give me a moment. So I will keep the session till here because we'll go in a system and I'll show you how screens look like because this is the TM overview part. Okay.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
and we'll start from the system itself. So we'll create the master data and I'll show you how TM is integrated with ECC. And after master data, then we'll proceed to the process part, which is like order management. And then after that, we'll proceed towards charge calculation and the flow. Is it fine with you?
Sure. So, this ocean freight or air freight, I mean, are we going to follow the same process regardless of whether it is a ocean or air or a road transport, or would there be any difference?
There will not be any difference, Guru. Basically, what we're gonna do, I'll take a multimodal scenario. So in
Okay,
multimodal scenario, you also have ocean, you also have an air.
okay, okay,
Okay.
okay,
In that case, we can cover everything. I'll just give you one basic difference between ocean and air. It's nothing but basically planning and a charge calculation issue. Because what happens
okay,
in ocean, you always have a contract rates. You negotiate for rates with ocean guys. Okay, there is no authority globally who control the rating mechanism, basically charge mechanism for ocean liners. So, for example, ocean liner, as you know, is managed by private carriers like Maersk Line or New York Logistic or NOL Logistics. You know, NOL Maersk liner basically. Okay. Now these kind
yes,
of liner have their own rates, which they publish or which they have negotiated with their customers. Okay, and that
okay,
is basically the space which is booked. So for example, I'm a freight forwarder. I will book some space for next 1 year in New York New York Logistic, NYK Logistic. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna be paying to NYK Logistic based on that rate only. Okay, so that's not
okay,
gonna change, something like that. But when I'm going to have a rate with Lufthansa or like in Asian in air cargo, there are two mechanisms. One is tuck rate and one is contract rates. Truck rate is basically your air contracting rates. It is published by IATA, IATA. It's a standard non-profit organization which publish air rates basically that for this type of goods you have to pay this much between these two locations. It's a big book. You can Google it. It's a very interesting one. And SAP TM supports both the rates, tuck rate as well as contract rates. Contract rates is when you negotiate with Lufthansa that for these type of cargo, I'm going to be paying this much.
okay, okay,
Okay, so that's the only difference. Second difference is planning. In case of ocean liner, you basically rely on container. You know, you have 20 foot container, 20 foot standard container. Then you have 42 foot TEU, which is a 20-ton container inch unit. Okay, similarly, so basically you rely on container, but in case of airliner, there is no container. There is a type of cargo which goes like loose cargo. So loose cargo is basically work on a weight mechanism. Then you have ULDs. ULD has different sizes, which is called unit load device. And unit load device is basically small unit load device. Um, I don't have any diagram to it. I will show you in the next class. So
sure,
it
sure.
is based on the plane shape. So you know that plane is like a tube, right?
Yes, yes, we
Yeah.
do.
So to adjust with the tube and to use that space optimally, there is a device innovated. It's called ULD. You know.
Okay,
So that's how it is used, and that's how the planning is being done to keep that in mind.
okay, okay,
Okay,
okay.
so what we're gonna do in the end, we'll take a scenario which is a multimodal, so we can cover ocean, air, and of course, road transportation medium.
Sure, sure,
Okay.
sure.
What time would be comfortable for you?
Right now, I mean, as I said before, I'm on the lookout for a project, so I am kind of available most of the time. Uh, so, I mean, if you give me your schedule, I mean, I can adjust on my side.
Okay.
Only
All
thing is,
right.
yeah, because the different time zone, uh, uh, we just have to discuss before. I mean, but I'm open. I mean,
All right. So tomorrow we will not have class because tomorrow I have something at the family. Uh,
okay.
so we're gonna do start from Monday. Is that fine with you?
Yeah, yeah, Monday is fine. So Monday, what time you would be available?
So Monday, what we're gonna do? I'll send you the mail. I'll send you a meeting request